Hello everybody, this is Rachel Evans, aka The Human Barbie, on the Parody Podcast Show, Season 2, Episode 4. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about the Barbie movie in terms of how Ken is featured in the movie. So let's just look at the opening part of the movie. I'm doing this off the cuff, guys, because I know I've seen the movie like 4 times, 3 on cinematic release, and I've also seen it on Sky TV because I've got the Sky. I bought it for $19.99. So I am studying the script, studying the scenes, looking at the direction. Greta Gerwig is amazing as a director. And I just want to talk about Ken. So, you know, the themes of the patriarchy in the Barbie movie is very strong, and feminism. So when Margot Robbie said in an interview about talking about feminism, she said, well, feminism is inclusive of masculinity. It's inclusive of all genders, everything. But what she said was, in terms of Ken being emasculated to, you know, the effect of like he didn't have any power or even a job or a car or where to live, you know, it wasn't really defined at the beginning until later when he went into the real world with Barbie and discovered the patriarchy. And, you know, he fell in love with the whole idea of the power of being a man and men ruling over Barbie Land, which is what he tried to do when he went back to Barbie Land. And his newfound power kind of caused his downfall, if you like. But if you look at it bit by bit, you can go into so much, you know, you can go down the rabbit hole basically. But if you look at it generically and like more generally rather than too specific, Ken has the respect of Barbie as a friend. And, you know, you see them bickering in the scene where they're in the real world and, you know, he's got the books and he goes to the library and the funny scenes there with the woman and the teenager. But Barbie at the end of the movie gives a lot of love and affection to Ken and lets him know that, you know, he is Ken and he is self-validated without Barbie's support. So at the beginning of the movie, you've got Helen Mirren who narrates the voiceovers, and she says, you know, basically back to Barbie. So Margot Robbie as Barbie says to Ken, you know, you are Ken and you are you, and he was struggling with his own identity, which is an amazing, you know, idea to have in the movie, right? Because it's normally women struggling with identity. But again, the whole point of the direction, I think, of Greta Gerwig's direction in the Barbie movie is inclusive of the struggle for both sexes and all genders and all sexes. Because don't forget, gender identity is something modern. But again, the Barbie doll is inclusive. Barbie by Mattel is inclusive. So I think they obviously are aware of this, but they don't want to sort of make that the overriding theme in the movie. So, you know, you had a few kind of gay friendly scenes where you kind of question, okay, yeah, is he gay or is he straight? And it was like really camp in a few parts of the movie, and I love it. It was really funny. But obviously some people don't get that, and I do, because I know that the whole inclusivity of Barbie as a brand by Mattel is portrayed, you know, a little bit in the movie. But again, it's not like in a patronizing way. It's just like, okay, this is the new 2023 take on Barbie. So the inclusivity is about men having struggles under the patriarchy, because Barbie, you see, Margot Robbie said in the interview, I think it was an American news interview, she said that the feminism is one part of it all, but it's not like an overriding thing that they set out to do, because she did say that men suffer under the patriarchy too. You know, and I think, you know, the whole idea of, is Barbie a feminist movie? Come on, I think they're really missing the point. That's one part of the whole, you know, story. But again, I think it's about being validated and finding your identity as a person, inclusive, and just not defining the boundaries too much, because the whole point of inclusivity is that we can be open-minded, have fun with who we are, and not define it, or not even be forced to define it. So your identity. So when Ken is sort of losing his mind a bit in Barbie Land and he breaks down, it was so funny because it's normally women having the breakdown, you know, to like stereotypical kind of women roles in movies where the woman's the victim or she breaks down. But here, the roles were kind of switched a bit because Barbie's the strong, powerful woman. All of the Barbies are in Barbie Land, and Ken was an accessory to Barbie's lifestyle. So again, I love the fact that Ken was so strong in the second half of the movie. I mean, he was strong right from the beginning of the movie, kind and sweet and, you know, supportive of Barbie. But when he was finding his newfound masculinity under the patriarchy, which he wanted to bring back to Barbie Land, I think that struggle showed how forced it can be for even men to have to struggle with who they are or with the way the world is. And I love it because you can really expand on that and use your imagination. And one of the key things here that I'd like to say is that the Barbie movie did help us expand our imaginations to, you know, interpret the scenes the way we want to and the way we can, because you can be anything, right? So I totally relate to that, and that's one of the things that I say in interviews is that you can be anything, but remember to be self-validated if you can, and you know, not rely on other people's to be validated. So that is the main part of the podcast. What kind of accent was that? Podcast. No, I've been rehearsing my American accent. It's like, and I love the scene where he goes, Barbie, can I come round to yours tonight? She goes, sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blow-up party with all the Barbies, playing choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by. And I did some scenes like at home, rehearsing the scenes, and I've still got loads of work to do my cameo videos. And I love it because I just really, really fell in love with the whole Barbie movie outfits, which I've got. And I wear them and they're on their own little rail. Yeah. And it's just great to embody the whole Barbie vibe when I'm in my daily life as well, which is what I do. So guys, if you can leave comments about what you want me to do a podcast on, I'd really appreciate it, because there's not many people listening to my podcast right now, but I hope there will be in the future. I am videoing this on Zoom so I can upload it to YouTube. Hopefully I can sync the audio. I'm doing it myself, guys. Do you know what I mean? And I've got my new hair extensions in. But I've just got my hoodie on and my pink dress, and I'm at home sitting, watching Trisha Paytas on YouTube in my living room with my Rodecaster recording unit, laptop and microphone. So I hope this is going to turn out good. If not, I'm going to have to record it again. So that's the message in today's podcast: the patriarchy and Ken struggling with who he is and how he was comforted by Barbie towards the end of the movie to accept and find out who he is without seeking Barbie's approval, you know, because at the beginning of the movie, Ken only existed when he looked at Barbie. He saw himself through Barbie's eyes. And so, you know, when you sometimes rely on someone in a relationship, that's what happens. We've all been there, right? Well, not everyone, but I have. So say you're in a relationship and as an adult or young person, and you are partnering with that person, whether you're just together as a couple or whether you're married, engaged, doesn't matter. You do look at yourself through their eyes, and sometimes you can lose yourself. You lose who you are, and it's all about identity. So have your me time, have your solo time. Don't be afraid to be on your own for short periods or long periods, and, you know, discover who you are and embrace and love yourself. And that's what Barbie was trying to tell Ken in a very kind and loving way towards the end of the movie. Anyway, guys, I will have to straighten these lashes. I've got some new lashes, but they're looking a little bit weird. Oh, well, that moved. I've got my hair. I'm literally recording the podcast, trying to straighten my lashes in true Barbie style, right? Because that's what I do. You know, when you've got lashes, guys, you put them on, then you've got to constantly comb them if they're not right. That's what I'm doing. You guys, listen, I'll see you in the next podcast because I have to get out now. I've got my car to do. Oh, yes, and by the way, I jump-started my car because of the cold weather. My battery went weird because my car battery, you know, the fob, needed a new battery. So I got one of them, put it in myself, and I actually used the Nico Boost. I'm not sponsored, guys, but I used a charger to charge my car. I was so happy. I was like, yes, I don't have to call the RAC. But anyway, it was at home, so it's fine. But yeah, so I love doing tomboy stuff. Maybe I'll talk about these things in another podcast. In the comments or direct message me on Instagram. If you guys can let me know what you want to have in the next podcast, I will be very happy. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to me, Rachel Evans, the Human Barbie, and you've been listening to the Parody Podcast Show. Series 2, Episode 4.